And welcome back to more The Legend of Zelda. So last time, we entered level 6, and this time we're starting out by backtracking. So I ended up missing a lot from here. The boss is actually right up there, through the locked door, but we need to backtrack all the way through that little underground passage to collect the main item of the place. I could really use with a heart, even though I lost a heart in the process of picking it up. So yeah, I skipped a bunch of stuff by going down that tunnel so early. But luckily it's not that much work to get back to where we need to be. Only one enemy left to deal with here. There's a key we missed. Might actually want to pick that up. Why not have 5 keys? Up here should be a locked door. We got hit by the enemy, so we can't attack, so that's a little bit scary. And a whole lot of Wizrobes. This is very intimidating, having so many teleporting enemies to deal with. I do notice, though, that the blue Wizrobes don't teleport as much. It seems like they teleport just to kind of get out of the way of blocks, like if there's a block in the way, they'll teleport around it. But in general, they kind of walk, while the orange ones are stationary and teleport a bunch. So this is the magic wand. It kind of acts like a ranged attack. I tend to not use items in this game. I usually just stick with the sword, but I am wanting to get all the items, at least for the sake of completion. Hey, let's test it out, actually. We actually haven't even used the bow, I don't think. We will be using it soon, though. It's not a great item, I guess. Also, there's the dungeon map. So with those 2 items in hand, now we can actually go and finish level 6. If we can survive, that's another important factor of whether we can do this or not, is survival, because this place is no joke. So through here, can that pierce enemies? It can't. I'm not sure how I took out the one behind me there, but it doesn't seem like it can pierce enemies. I was just hoping for a heart drop because, 3 hearts going into a boss isn't ideal. It's not bad, I can definitely make this work, but it is a little bit scary. If I can dodge everything here. Alright, so this is Goma, and traditionally, Goma is weak to arrows. Turns out Goma in this game is really weak to arrows. Alright, so that means there should only be 2 more pieces of the Triforce left to collect. We are going to try to warp to level 3. I don't know how successful this will be, based on my luck with warps so far. This looks like level 2, actually. Maybe 1 more? I don't feel like there's a rhyme or reason to the warps, which is slightly frustrating. Like, if you could choose, maybe there is a way. But I don't know what it is. Like, maybe there's a directional input where, like, if you hold a button, you warp to one place consistently. No, I think it's actually the direction you're facing. Like, if you're facing one way, you'll warp to the dungeon. Yeah, that's what it is. So if you're facing right, you warp to the dungeon next in line. I think. So, to test this out, I am facing right, and I am hopefully going to go to level 3. Cool, that is actually how it works. I did not actually realize that. So now that we're near level 3, we are going to make a quick stop here, because I am low on health. Restoring items. Buy medicine before you go. Good advice. Hopefully the last time we'll need to buy medicine, but somehow I'm not convinced. And because we actually have this item, bait, we don't need to find a shop that sells it. We can go straight to the next dungeon. As a heads up though, there is a fairy fountain up here if you need health. So I technically lost like half a heart or a quarter of a heart, so might as well. And next to it though is something a little bit peculiar. There is a similar looking pond with a secret. If you play the whistle, we have another level. Alright, so we're already in level 7. Truth be told, I really don't know how this is gonna go. You know, the early part of the game was a bit rough, but now we're definitely getting into the really difficult part now, so here's hoping things go as smoothly as possible. Somehow I'm not convinced it will go particularly smoothly, but here's hoping. Okay, lots of bats. And over here should be a locked door and a lot of enemies. These enemies took a lot more hits before we had the sword. Also, I think the sword beam damage also scales up, so if you have the sword beams, it definitely makes even this tactic a lot better. So many item drops that I don't need, but I'll collect them anyway. What is up here? There's a secret in the tip of the nose. Interesting hint. So let's go this way. We have a returning mini-boss, who thankfully is very easy to defeat. Just gotta play the flute, and we're good to go. I keep going back and forth between calling it the whistle and the flute for some reason. Got a lot of Stalfos, enough to lag the game. To be fair, it doesn't feel like it takes much to lag an N64, not N64, NES game. There's a secret in the tip of the nose. That's a weird hint. The dungeons are supposed to be like shapes, by the way, something I neglected to point out earlier. So, obviously based on the layout of this dungeon, that would, make sense. Also, I forgot that I already checked this room, so whoops. So, I feel like, if it's in the nose, that would indicate to me that there's something hidden, like, in the upper right part? Like, if this is kind of like a face, maybe that's, like, up. I'm really not sure, to be honest. Oh, that's a lot of enemies. Actually, let's check over here first. See what's over here. There are so many bombable walls in this game, and, not to get ahead of myself, but, get used to bombing random walls if you want to 100% this game. I will actually not be 100%ing this game, technically, for this playthrough, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But there's a specific aspect of 100% that I've actually never done, and don't plan to for the sake of this series, because it's very difficult. Okay. I don't know if we're making good progress or not, actually. I feel like we are, but I also feel like, based on the positioning of the boss, we really haven't crossed that many screens. Which is a little bit worrying, to be honest. I really should be using ranged attacks more, but the sword beams are so effective that I just tend to stick with them, instead of actually using, like, a boomerang or arrows. Alright, so far so good in level 7. Oh look, it's you again. Still have the whistle, so this is still gonna be a really easy fight. Oh, there's 2 of them! No, 3 of them this time. That's different. Okay, that actually was a lot tougher than I expected. Strength in numbers, I suppose. Okay, we got a locked door and a lot of enemies. Again, I feel like it's a safe assumption to try bombing walls whenever you hit, like, a dead end, but this doesn't look like it indicates. I did not mean to push B there. Sword being mapped to A is not my favorite thing. I would prefer it mapped to B and item to A, but oh well. Grumble, grumble. So, if we use the bait that we collected, we can get past here. Nice. Another, dark room. They really like these dark rooms. I don't really care for them because you have to stop and use the, like, the candle, and I'm not really crazy about that. Like, it kind of breaks the flow of the dungeon, honestly. Do these not hurt you? I guess they don't hurt you, but they make it so you can't attack, so they're still plenty dangerous. I'm just trying to get to the other side, please let me. I actually don't know if there's like a key item here as well. So, like, we have the compass, we have the map. I feel like there's gotta be a key item that we're missing. Because every other dungeon has had one so far. And there's so much to see here that it's probably pretty easy to miss stuff. Oh yeah, we should probably go all the way to the upper right. It actually does look like a face now that I'm looking at. So yeah, going to the nose would actually make sense. So like that blank square is like an eye, I suppose. So yeah, I get the hint now. That makes a lot of sense. So where exactly? So we need to go straight across, but it's Zelda 1. I doubt it'll be that easy. Please tell me I don't have to fight all these enemies. Maybe I should just leave. Except I can't. Can't be that easy. I think the music even slows down when the game lags. NES games are so fascinating because of how sound effects can, like, mess up the music. It's something I find really interesting. How, like, having too many sounds will just cut out the music and kind of interrupt it. Even though I didn't really have a ton of nostalgia for this era of gaming, from a technological standpoint, find it really interesting. Just how everything works. Because there were a ton of limitations, and it's honestly impressive, seeing what people were actually able to come up with, despite those limitations. This is a weird fight here. Just gotta hope they run into the sword's hitbox, basically. Hey, there's the dungeon item. The red candle, obviously an upgrade to the candle. I assume it's more powerful? In any case, now, with that in hand, I guess we should start making our way to the boss, but the question is, how do we get to the boss from here? I feel like it's in the upper part of the map, but I'm just kind of like, how do you get there from here? It's like, I legitimately don't know. I'm trying to, like, figure out a route based on how we've gotten here. By the way, on the map, you can see how different rooms connect, which is nice. Cool, that worked. Just blow up a wall. When all else fails, it's worth a shot, right? Cool, I can use the heal as well. I am glad I decided not to use an actual NES controller for this. I feel like I would not be playing nearly as well with an NES controller. Third time's the charm, I suppose. Problem is I still have the whistle, so it'll still be a very short fight. That went better, because I was expecting 3 of them this time. Alright, 3 Dodongos. Let's just say nope to that and blow up this wall and see what happens. I like this level of flexibility, though, of just being like, okay, I'll just blow up a wall, not even worry about this. So we have a Wall Master. Okay, make that 3 Wall Masters, maybe. That was almost really bad, getting knocked straight into a Wall Master. Yeah, I'm damage boosting intentionally, to get out of the way. Okay, one of these has to move, but I might have to defeat the Wall Masters first, sadly. This is really scary, actually. Again, not a fan of these enemies in any game, and they're almost worse in this game because of how much progress you might lose by getting hit by one. Again, since those don't seem to do damage, it just kind of makes sense to damage boost through them, I find. And with that, we actually should be relatively close to the end. I hope. Gonna assume to blow up that wall, and we have this enemy again. Let's see how easy it is, I guess. Okay. Cool. I'm not sure if we're meant to have the magical sword by this point, based on how quickly that went. With that, we only have one more piece of the Triforce left to go. So let's make our way to level 8. That's not what I meant to do. You cannot warp on this screen. That is good to know. I think we're far away from the enemies so I can safely try to warp. I actually don't know what the fastest way to get to the next dungeon would be. What dungeon is this? I'm not even sure. Like, I think that's dungeon, like, 4 or 5. Like, I'm not even sure what the warps are doing at this point. I just assume it'll be faster. Maybe not, at this rate. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I feel like I should be warping. Like, this is the last dungeon I found, so you'd think if I warped, I should warp to level, 1. But it was warping me, like, all over the place for some reason. Maybe I should just walk. Maybe that would be better at this rate. I generally know where the dungeon is, so it shouldn't take too long to get to. But we might actually have to save that for next time, because we're coming up on time here. It's kind of near the forest, actually. Kind of a weird place for a final dungeon to be. Sort of random. Yeah, I have been really enjoying this playthrough. I'm not sure if I'll ever get to Zelda 2 at this rate, because Zelda 2 is a whole different kind of game. Like, if I was intimidated by this game, I can't even imagine how bad Zelda 2 would go. Because that's really scary. Like, probably the scariest 2D Zelda in terms of overall difficulty. Okay, I know exactly where to go from here. It's just a matter of how do I get there? I don't mind taking a hit there. It should be through here, actually. Yep, there it is. So now that we have the upgraded candle, I might as well put it to use. And with that, we have arrived at level 8. I think I will save it for next time, though. So yeah, next time we should easily be able to get the last piece of the Triforce and head to the end. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more The Legend of Zelda.